Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So the question today, how low can Drew sink? How low can Drew sink? That's the question I want to sit there tonight. I mean, this isn't the first time he sat there and he used Wiley. He used a kid for his agenda. He's just doing it again now. And he's also sitting up there trying to turn Wiley against his father. So I guess this guy has no limits. I hope he has some limits, but he's proving to me every day he's not. Johnson says, welcome to the Soul Chopper Dr. Bostic. Thank you, Jonathan. And yes, also RIP Tristan Rogers found out today, like everyone else did, about his unfortunate passing. Let's do roll call. Get this started. Freddie's in the chat. Amy H is in the chat. Ryan, aka GH fan, is in the chat. Sean is in the chat. Queen of the South is in the chat. Eagle Fangs in the chat, and Freddie says something that's very important that I was going to say. Freddie, you are a gem. Let's all remember, Albert is only one person. He will not be able to get through every single comment, so please be patient with him and enjoy tonight's live stream. Freddie, you are a poet with your words, and I appreciate you. Ronnie Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Why does it go like a springboard? Jay Blue is in the chat. How you doing tonight? I know, Sean. I know. I had to sit there and watch it on YouTube. You know how fun that was. Yes, it did, Ron. We're going to talk about that too. Lisa Klopp is in the chat, and thank you, Lisa. Yes, we got 19 people in the chat so far. Let's hit the like button. That pushes the algorithm, and it gets more people in here. And, the more the merrier, right? Okay, so we got 6 likes. We got 21 people in the chat. So, yes. Seriously, Freddie, thank you. And, Sean, yeah. I mean, I could have waited to 8 o'clock, when Hulu came on, but unfortunately, so I'm a stream at, you know. So, Autumn's in the chat. May my words, Drew is going to end up in the middle of a whodunit. I know, Autumn. We've been sitting there saying that all week. So you are on the ball right there. Gloria, aka I like Johnson's in the chat. I do got my thoughts on it. I mean, my thoughts is that it was interesting. My general thoughts on it was that it was interesting. We're gonna fully get into that. Because we got a lot to talk about with Beyond the Gate. We got a lot to talk about with Beyond the Gate. So um we did. That Leslie's mom is Barbara. Barbara, the one, I can't believe they actually said the word that I'm not gonna say. Eagle says Curtis and Jordan really need to get the ish over with and move on. Jordan wanted waiting for Curtis last 5 years, longer than Willow's abysmal cancer storyline. Yes. And Spider Quake is in the chat. Spider Quake says Britt seeing Jason on Monday, and she tells him he gotta come with her. And I told you, Jocelyn. Here we go. It's funny. It's really funny, Spider. It's really funny. I'm so glad that you said that. I am so glad. I didn't even have to finish reading the sentence. Let me tell you how good I am. Let me just. I need to brag for a minute. What are the odds that you would actually say what you said tonight? Oh wait, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to sit there and say that. I'm not going to lie. Pardon me. When I watched that scene, I was like, "Why Spider Face going to sit there and say like a Nerf gun?" Uh, I'm pretty good. You're also kind of predictable, but I'm pretty good though too. Lisa says Drew is underwater and out of oxygen. The Coruscant stuff was good, Jonathan. I But see, here's the thing. I knew it was going to be a deep fake. Remember, I said that, and then Johnny was like, "It's AI." Oh my goodness, that was good. But I kind of knew that. Ron says, "I hope that the previous days of our lives has who pow pow EJ Tamara." Okay, I'm gonna read this comment. I'm not gonna do the whole back and forth thing because before I even read it, I know you're gonna sit there and say she shot the gun like a Nerf gun. She can't shoot. She can't do this. She should just sit there and not be a spy. I'm not making fun of you. I know what you're gonna sit there and say. Francis in the chat, how you doing tonight? JH was pre. Yeah. Well, they showed the whole thing over here. They showed the last 20 minutes. Um, where I was. And you can tell when Josh shot the gun, she hit Vaughn. But as you said, plot over realism. So obviously, for story purposes, she's going to save Vaughn. But realistically, she would have shot Vaughn. How do you know she would have shot Vaughn? Are you a marksman? Are you a marksman expert? You got a secret talent that people don't know about? I'm just sitting there saying like I think that she's actually doing pretty good, but I know you don't like Jocelyn, so it's totally fine. Let me ask you a question. Did you see it on YouTube? Well, yeah, yeah. I did see. I did. Well, she. Here's the thing. It's hard to sit there and say was she aiming at. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan, you're fucking awesome. So yeah, you had to sit there and do the zoom in and zoom out and all this other stuff, all this other stuff. 1 second, Ron. All this other stuff. But and my gorgeous queen Janet is in the chat. I'm so glad that you are here. I know, and that's the thing, Ryan. They literally did that. But see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Spider. When she was aiming it at the guy, you have to remember the guy was snipped up behind Bob, right? So, like, realistically, it's very hard to sit there and shoot somebody and not hit the hostage when the bad guy is literally using them as a shield. But I think her marksman is gonna pay off, and I think she's actually gonna do a good job. But I guess we'll wait and see till Monday. And what did you say, Ron? Do you agree with Marlena decision not to disclose? Yeah, just because she's too close, and her job is on the line. Big Blue says, "How does a woman flirt with a newly married man?" Also, in what universe? And we're gonna get back to the Beyond the Gates thing in a second. But in what universe does a hotel guest ask where another hotel guest room is at? I mean, yes, that's already bad enough. Um, well, they didn't actually say. They didn't actually say who shot AJ. I think that's going to be on Monday, though. Well, Spider, that's your opinion, but I agree to disagree with you. But it's okay. That's your opinion, and I respect that. Okay? Johnson said, "I didn't care for Nicole's divorce part." Yo, the sad thing is, Jonathan, I've heard of that shit. I heard, I heard some women would sit there and have divorce parties, and I'm just like, oh, this chick done something to really low. I was like, she was already irritating me a little bit with the way she was there acting, and on some level, okay, fine, you want to move on and everything, but to have a divorce party, a fucking divorce. I really sat there was like, should humans with penises not watch this part, or not watch this episode? Because I'm just like, Goddamn music hat. Francis says, what do you think about Leslie being Barbara's daughter? I mean, I'm not surprised. It gives her more of a reason to sit there and go out to the praise. Jillian says, poor Scout Drew doesn't care about what's best. No, he's a narcissist. And narcissists don't care about anyone except for, well, themselves. Now, yes. Oh, Jonathan, when he said he still wanted to fight for her, I had to sit there and get up and leave the room for a minute. I had to sit there and take like a 2-second walk out the room, like, I know this man did not just sit there and say. Now, Ryan says, I'm a little surprised that you're sticking up for Jocelyn. You've been talking to her in the past, so I was totally ready for you to say that she doesn't make a good agent. Well, here's the thing, Ryan. You have to understand something. I may be hard on people at times, but at the same time, I will sit there and give them their credit. And you've watched my reviews before, so you know that there's times that I was harsh on Michael, and then there was times that I defended Michael. You know, I always feel that depending on the episode, depending on what goes on, it depends on how I'm going to react to whatever situation. So you have to understand that just because I may be one way sometimes doesn't mean that like I'm not going to sit there and stick up or defend them other times. It's the same thing with Nina. Spikework says, "Do you think Leslie's going to tell Eva about her mom?" She should. But like I said, I do think that Leslie is going to have more of a hardcore reason to go after the priest. You know, she already went after Nicole. Now she's going to sit there and go at the Big Mama. Rachel says, so in the past, I never liked the character Drew, never thought he was interesting, but I'm enjoying watching the evil Drew. See, people can sit there and like messy characters, right? So when I sit there and say, oh, I like Drew or I like Bill Hamilton, that don't mean I necessarily like them for the reasons that most people would think. Thank you, Freddie. 31 people like and subscribe. Yes, hit that goddamn like button. We're gonna have fun tonight. Friday, I've been off for like 2 days so far. It's been great. Man, did I need this time off? Johnson says, does Drew have any friends left aside from maybe Kai and Marty? Um, well, I mean, he's messy. He's messy, right? Just like I'm not gonna sit there and say he's evil because then I have to sit there and start talking about Drew. I mean, I have to start talking about Luke and I have to start talking about Ty. So let's not go there, okay? But that's just my opinion. Jay Blue says D.A. Turner is really getting repetitive with her words and actions. Yo, I don't know what is. I mean, I know what's going on with her, but at the same time, it's like, girl, what the are you doing? But yes, that's a very good point, Kai. I was gonna sit there and say maybe Liz, Jonathan. Maybe Liz. At least Liz is like decent with him, you know? Oh, absolutely, Jonathan. It's especially when she was sitting there looking at him being a nice, doting, and caring father and having peace of night with his kids. And I'm just like, I'm looking at this shit like my goodness. Exactly. Just a jerk, you know? A dick. Okay? He's a dick. But hey, everyone has their own feelings. It is what it is. But Monique says Willow told Drew, I don't want or need your help, but Drew said to Martin, I'm going to make her want my help, or she does. Yeah, she doesn't know what she needs. I think yeah, something like that. Yeah. Uh, Ryan, I'm not exactly. We're not going to go back and forth, but I, uh, I, I, I think it's messed up. Yeah, I think it's messed up. I will sit there and say that much, Ryan. I know how you have strong feelings about Drew, so you're not going to sit there and ruin my buzz by, you know, you acting a little off the wall. So let's just kind of leave it where it at. Lashanta is in the chat. Oh, it's actually really funny, Ryan. Just on a side note, there's actually somebody that's named GH Addict. And it made me think about you because I was like, I haven't seen Ryan in the fan, you're called GH fan, and there's somebody named GH Addict. And I'm like, oh, I guess this person is more of a fan than GH fan. They call themselves Addict. Portia and Curtis hitting the sheets. I mean, for a hot minute, it looked like Curtis and Jordan was hitting the sheets. But yeah, there's somebody named GH Addict. I was like, um, Jay Blue says, Isaiah, please, nothing happened with Jordan and Curtis in the park. It wasn't planned, and the lives they live in the same town. Are they not allowed to talk to each other? We know damn well it's a little bit more than talking. I get what you're saying, and somebody sat there and said that he was acting like a Karen, but like that's right, Lashanta. And of course, Justine was like, "Oh shit, there's Curtis. This is a bad look." I was like, "Girl, you coming to Sonny's house with a bad look. Stop sending me gifts. It's gonna make me look bad." Yeah, but you having dinner with a local mobster is not making you look bad. Okay, girl. Oh, Rachel says, I feel like Dana's Leslie's father is Dante Green, that producer who mistreated Barbara and captivated Anita's career. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that, Rachel. I can see that. I can see that, Rachel. Or they could just bring in somebody new. I would love them to bring in somebody new. Yeah, too. Uh, uh, I didn't update the pictures. What dress was hot, Lisa? Are you talking about the dress that Nicole was wearing? Because then, yeah. That's the sad thing is that it's like, damn, she was looking kind of fine. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, she was irking the living shit out of me with that whole, oh, we're gonna have the yellow dress, the yellow dress that who was wearing, Lisa. I gotta update some pictures. The yellow dress that who was wearing. Oh, okay, Stella. I mean, not Stella. Portia. Thank you, Portia. I'm gonna go and get my fork. While I do that, Nothing like a good old dose of Drew. Trina's Lashanta said Trina can't trust Kai. Stella needs to have several seats. I'm assuming that's what she's gonna say. Well, we talked about that yesterday. Um, Trina can kind of sit her self-righteous ass down. Johnson says Albert loves to mess with everyone. Well, I mean, that's not messing with anyone, okay? No one's messing with someone, Jonathan. This, that's messing with people, okay? That's how I mess with people, okay? Let me take this off. Let me take this off. Kai is not simple. It's so bad. I can't help it. I can't. Okay, I gotta do one more. Just one more. Just one more. Ah, this is good. This, this right here is good. Oh my goodness, why does he look so disappointed? Why does he look so disappointed that Kai, who kinda doesn't really look like Kai, is his son? And why does not Trina look so disappointed? Okay, I'm done. I'm done now. I'm done. Uh, Power of AI, people. I want to take this off. That was fun. Um, Vishanta says I knew Kai was going to beat Drew Doughboy. 179 says Kai can only be made interesting by AI. Kai is I know he's not Spencer, aka the goddamn toilet, but I think if they flush him out, he could be good. Yeah, that definitely does not look like Kai Trina. I know, and that's the funny part. That's the part that always makes me laugh. Shauna says I need a beer now. Johnson says if there's a whodunit to Drew, the list of possible suspect continues to grow. Kind of like EJ on Days of Our Lives, right? Kind of like EJ Demera, who now is firing his dad. Um, Johnson says Spencer was not a toilet; he was just a messy character. No, I'm gonna call him a toilet. I'm gonna call him a toilet. Lisa says I need several beers now. Oh, that was just so funny though. Rashada says Lee needs to lose her medical license. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. This chick woke up and was just like, "Oh, come on, Grandma, just chill." I mean, I like Will. He's so this and he's so that. He was the same dude that wore a wire to sit there and bust your ass. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, he is Sean. He is. Johnson said. Ryan says, which character do you think is the least relevant to GH right now? Felicia. Felicia. I didn't even have to really think about it that much. Johnson says, then don't come after anyone who calls Drew a toilet. Oh, I won't. You can call Drew over that. No, people can call Drew what they want. Monique says, Christina cut the wrong brakes. Why couldn't she cut Drew's brakes? Because Drew is a good villain and he's just being messy. Shanta says, when Luna hurts Will or somebody else is on like, and Sheila. Well, yeah, because Sheila sat there and told Luna that Will was throwing a goddamn party. And I'm like, why would you tell her that? You know damn well that she's obsessed with Will. you know damn well that she's obsessed with Will. So it's like, why would you tell her that for? Like, there was so many times I really sat there and I was just like, and then Lee was like, I'm going to be your what is it, your mental boot camp or some shit like that. I was like, girl, I'm taking a big risk. Yeah, because you're the first person that took a big risk and came out looking like boo the fool. Hello, are we going to sit there and talk about how Bill sprung her and then she decided to get super obsessive? Like, get the f out of here. Jay Blue says Kai needs his people to be around to make him more whole to me. He came from nowhere and doesn't even have his support system from home and school. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I agree with that. Johnson says, do you think EJ will try to convince Johnny to keep him on as a lawyer? Yes, I do. Um, whether he does or not, I'll tell you for this point, it's like the trial's almost over. So I should tell you the truth. EJ could be like, yo, this trial's almost done. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get a new lawyer now? You're gonna represent yourself? Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, honestly, tell you the truth, if you really think about it, I don't think EJ hasn't really tried that hard to convince them to still be his lawyer. Like, yeah, he probably messed up or whatever. One second, Freddie. He probably messed up because he, did something he didn't like. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you know how EJ's gonna sit there and run. And it's not as though that tape was not going to be made. So, like, what do you? I guess, yeah. It's like you knew he was going to go hard. So, I mean, what is he going to do? Get Justin? Lashanta says Albert, out of all people, Sheila could help. Stella could help. Why Martin? And didn't she say tell nobody? Well, I mean, to be fair, it was good deluxe. Why not help Martin? Yes, Martin is not there working for Drew, but like that doesn't mean that Martin doesn't need like health care and stuff like that. I mean, proper health care and stuff. And she saw somebody that was getting screwed over by the system, so why not help him? But yeah, Martin is an idiot for saying something. But yeah, why not Martin? I think that's my question for you, LaShonda. Freddie says I agree with Felicia. They She told Isaiah to stay out of Curtis and Portia's relationship, but of course he's not going to listen. Exactly, and we had to sit through that whole goddamn lecture for no effing reason. For no extra reason, for him to sit there and just be like, "Yeah, I heard what you said for the 7 minutes, and I'm going to do the exact opposite." Um, I mean, seriously, who's his options? Justin? You better get my you. Listen, I'm also surprised that he didn't sit there and think about getting somebody else, like Melinda. I mean, Melinda needs all the clients she can get. EJ is rich. She is an up and she still has the practice to sit there and build since Paulina unjustly fired her. Brian says Justin is a good lawyer. He's an okay lawyer. He's an okay lawyer. I mean, listen, from the time I started watching the year 2020, he's been an okay lawyer. It's kind of a no-brainer to sit there and pick between EJ and Justin, but Lex says, do you think 88 Turner will stay quiet after hearing Drew try to back blackmail Sonny? Yes. One, because she was in the house, and how would she know that information if she wasn't there? So I think at the very least she would sit there and do that for her own good. And two, I think she's starting to have a soft spot for Sonny. Monique says, so the previews for B&B, Carter tells Reg he wants to marry Hope. Shouldn't Carter be saying that to Deacon? Yeah. But then you have Hope that they're talking about, well, there's no other place I'd rather be, but um besides his them besides him. Like, girl, I think Hope is not gonna marry Carter because of Liam, which she's an idiot for. Lashanta says I'm glad Lulu getting her just dessert, but Carly was wrong to involve Britt saving Joss. Liam, yes. What's good, Kaiwan? You think Sunny will tell Carly about Drew Blackman? Yeah, that's Ursula's son. So yeah, that if he doesn't tell Carly about Drew blackmailing, then Carly's gonna find out and is gonna be pissed at Sunny. But yeah, that's what I think, Deluxe. Okay, Lashanta says Claire's so gullible. She wanted to tell Nate, but she doesn't know how far Cal was willing to go. Yeah. Well, Claire was so gullible. She wanted to tell Nate. Why was is she gullible because she's trusting Kyle? Um, I mean, honestly, tell you the truth, like I said, she does tell Nate about the whole the kiss, especially the kiss part. She tells him about the kiss. I think he's going to probably be like, you can kick rocks at this point. Yeah, yeah, Princess, I'm not surprised. I remember years ago when Julian got shot um, off a bridge or whatever. He got shot doing something, and because he was, as the doctor put, physically fit, he was just up and around. And to be honest, I mean, I guess I'm not too surprised, Francis, because it wasn't like she was like dancing and stuff like that. You still saw the pain. You still saw the pain that, one second, right? You still saw the pain that she was in. I don't, I think it was just a coma part. J Blue says, seriously, did Jordan have issues getting an apartment in the past? I'm starting to get annoyed with this whole apartment situation. We're going to talk about that apartment situation. Okay. He's probably going to want to sit there and tell Carl. He's going to be surprised. I don't think he's going to be too happy, and he's going to be more concerned, Deluxe, about seeing Jocelyn. That's what I think. Now, Ryan says, do you think that Kyle is an entitled brat? That's basically what you said during my first live chat. Yes, I do think that he is an entitled brat. Actually, to tell you the truth, in this weird way, like, I don't know who was more entitled between him and Spencer, but yeah, he did come across as an entitled brat. Like, there was a whole story where it's like his mother fired him because he was trying to undermine her. And then was Nadir talking about, well, this company is my legacy, and I deserve to be here and everything like that, and trying to make her look bad. So yeah, yeah, but he's calmed down a lot though too. He's calmed down a lot. I mean, he had to get humble, but he definitely did calm down a lot. GH fan. I don't really watch him because he's so handsome or something that he was cool. I mean, I was just gonna say this, my friend. He actually calmed down a lot since that story. So he's not as entitled as he was. Um, it was a whole, like I said, there was a whole story. He was entitled, but he's actually chilled out a lot. And is a lot more tolerable to watch. So I would sit there and say that much, Ryan. Yeah, but I mean, he does. But honestly, to tell you the truth, that's just act like that's not even a worse of Willow with smacking Lucas. That's the least. God damn it! I didn't even have a bite of this shit. The whole messing with Sasha's baby was enough. Yeah, but I mean, he was also undermining his mother, and his mother technically was his superior. And the fact that he sat there and tried to undermine her, make her look bad at her job because she got a promotion that he wanted, even though he told his dad that he wanted her to have the promotion, and then later on, um, resented her instead of talking to her like an adult. He sat there and just yeah. So it was a little more complicated than that, Ryan. It wasn't as black and white. Yeah, Dave. Oh shit. Let's do another AI slap while I go and get this door. That doesn't even look like Curtis, but I love it anyway. Why is this doing this for? There you go. Stella makes Portia lose everything. You can tell by that judgmental smirk on her goddamn face that is so Portia. So goddamn Portia. I tell you. Her stalking Daisy will be her downfall, Sean says. Yeah. Oh shit. Wrong one. Ryan says the look on Stella's face in that picture is funny. Yes, it is funny. Because that's exactly the kind of look that she would have, too. All right, one more. One more. I guess that's supposed to be Kai. Um, Mom Dukes looked freaked out. Kai, or whatever looks like Kai, looks freaked out. And uh, Trina, like if Trina was possessed by the goddamn devil, I guess that's what she's looking at. Ronnie, Ron. Jay Blue says, "What did they do? What did they do to Kai's face? I love it. I love it. The power of AI. Okay, that was fun. That was fun. I had to sit there and get that good laugh. I'm gonna take this off. Okay, there we go. That was funny. LaShanta says, when Lulu ever works. Oh, she working a lot. That's what I said, right? And the sad thing is that these are the pictures that they put in like, these YouTube videos to get people to watch. They'll put up pictures just like that. They call it clickbait. So it's it's always hilarious to see. Where's the previews for next week, Days of Our Lives? Just type up Days of Our Lives on YouTube and it'll come up. Actually, type up Days of Our Lives previews and it will come up. Right. That's what you got. Clickbait, exactly. The thing is, Ryan, I love the imagination that they use to sit there and do that. That's what I love. I love the imagination. Oh, she definitely is, Jay Blue. But so is Gio at this point, though. Gio is also sitting there working people's nerves. I mean, not like Harriet's nerves, but like the fans' nerves. He is working the fans' nerves because at this point, it's like, bro, stop. You know, just straight up stop. J. Blue says clickbait is Drew today. I guess he likes being hit. That is very true. That is very, very true. Well, you know why he did that, though. I don't have any more clickbaits to Drew. Never mind. Yes, Ron. CPS will get involved. Yes, very true, Ron. But who calls Michael a spoiled brat, though? I haven't seen anyone call Michael a spoiled brat. Spencer has been called a spoiled brat because he acts like a spoiled brat. We're going to be honest. So I don't know who, you know, because it involves his child. And when you know what I'm saying, like, rationale gets thrown out the window. And that's what he was counting on. Jay Blue said, I'm definitely losing patience with Gio. Waited all year for his true identity to be revealed, and now we have to wait another for him to sort through his feelings. Exactly. Especially with the with the amount of times that GH just vomits out characters. It's like, my goodness, they just threw everything. They just threw everything out there today. This is why I put the question: how low can Drew sink? I feel like that's grammatic. I feel like grammatically that's wrong. I may have to sit there and change that later on, but you know. But now I'm going to keep it going. Well, I mean, next time if I find it wrong, then I will. I mean, it just happened. 179. You have to sit there and think about Monica. How long it take Monica for that to happen? Well, how long is it going to take? You know what? More of Epiphany. Think about how long it took for them to do Epiphany. Right? It took them a while for them to acknowledge Epiphany stuff, which that was another episode I didn't watch. But you know, if you think about the time period, how long it took for them to acknowledge Epiphany's death, then we can kind of use that same timetable to measure Tristan Rogers. And exactly, and Bobby. So yeah, exactly 179. You know, I know a lot of people don't like Drew, and I get it, but I'm so okay with Drew burning Stella's life to goddamn ground. Well, I'm I'm not gonna go back and forth. I think people just have a problem with nepotism in general, you know. And I get it; it's who you know and everything like that. But when you look at like, I think people just have a problem with nepotism in general. You know? It's like I did this hard work and I don't get acknowledged, but somebody else who just knows somebody who's a family member, yes, they worked hard. So yeah, okay, I can see what you're talking about. You know what? Because yeah, she's an annoying ass woman. But you know what? We're going to get to that later on. I was going to sit there and say something about nepotism and why I don't like nepotism, but then I sit there. Then I think about Victoria Newman. Victoria Newman, people could sit there and say that she got her job because of nepotism, but but Victoria started in the middle. She literally worked her way up into that company. So I guess I can understand where Ryan's coming from, even though I think he's a little kind of biased because it's Michael. But like, again, then I look at Victoria and I'm like, yeah, I was like, what the hell kind? I was like, what the hell kind of assassin is that? Like, what they send a rookie to sit there and take out Bond? They used to do that, right? Right, Deluxe. When he used to sit there and do it in the penthouse, they used to actually have a guard. I guess when they have money to sit there and hire extras. But I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying. Again, I think it's a little biased because you're talking about Michael, but I do get what you're saying because I look at Victoria, and it is a family company. Her last name is Newman, so Kevin. It looks like reunion Hope and Thomas back together. Yes, he is coming back to the Bold and the Beautiful. Most people are happy. Some people are not happy that he's coming back. I'm seeing some wild shit on Twitter, but it's Twitter, so. Jay Blue says that's why Michael works that hard because Ned doubts his ability. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's why I was like, I'm not gonna go hard on you because I look back Victoria and I can see exactly what you're talking about. Like I said, she started at the bottom. She started at the middle. She worked her way up. So when people come at her side, we're talking about, well, you only got this job because your daddy is like, no, she kind of worked at the bottom. She started from the bottom and worked her way to the top. Jay Blue says, besides, it's a family business. Remember when they didn't want Valentine a part of it? Yep. I remember, I remember I came back and I remember when Nicholas came in and they voted Michael out and they voted Nicholas in. And it was like Nicholas should have ran ELQ instead of Michael. And the reason why they said that was because Nicholas actually had more business experience than Michael. And that is very true. Nicholas did have more business experience than Michael. Yes, he was a Cassadine, but it's about money. And at the time I remember them Smith there saying that Michael was a little more soft handed, um, being more eco friendly and stuff like that, and not really making the company the money that it should be making. Hell, that's what actually Ned said as well. So so yeah. Anyway, Isaiah. You know, up until yesterday, I didn't sit there and think that maybe Isaiah might have feelings for Portia, but he also does sit there and see like Curtis and Jordan. I'm gonna be honest. I'm Papa Doc when will Willow get pregnant from Chase? I mean from Drew. Yeah, from Drew. Um, but Jordan don't need Curtis to sit there and expect every inch of that apartment. Girl, you ain't keeping that apartment. You do realize that the job is to bust it well. Okay, well, I personally think it's going to be Drew. Chase and Willa have not been bumping the ground in a minute. So it would make more sense for it to be with Drew. Yeah, but I guess we'll see. Um, I mean, listen, if it isn't Drew, that would just be another child that Drew will just neglect like he does Scout. So, there's that. There's that. Um, 179 said, I thought Chase had. Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. Thank you, 179. That's the whole reason why they're getting an adoption, why they're doing an adoption. So, yeah, this whole is only a matter of time that Chase and Willow hook up. It won't matter because he won't get her pregnant. Can't. Yeah, but Apodoc, I mean, the dude is he can't get anyone pregnant. That's the whole reason why he's getting it. Why him and Brooklyn are going to be doing an adoption because of the stuff that Peter did to him. It makes him infertile. Thank you, 179. Okay, Apodoc, if you think he's going to get pregnant, then that's exactly what Snitch is saying. Thank you, Jay Bloom. That's exactly what Snitch is saying. But he's saying that she's going to get pregnant by Chase. So okay. I get it. It's a soap opera thing. It's going to happen or whatever. But like, as it stands right now, that just does not make sense. And I don't know if they would sit there and change it that fast. I mean, that was literally like they made that a point of them getting an adoption. That's why Chase is having so much issues with Brooklyn because she ain't about that adoption life anymore because she's trying to sit there and straighten her ish out with what you call it. But the potato. I guess we'll see after that. Yes. I mean, okay, that's a possibility. I mean, now Apodoc says, how about this? Drew doesn't know Chase is infertile and Willow won't want to have a child with Drew, so Chase will claim it. I don't I don't know how well that would hold up because Brooklyn knows, most of the family knows. I guess they can lie if they want to go that route. I guess that would just be so annoying though. Now 179 says Lucy is more irrelevant than Felicity. But than Felicia, at least for me. Pascal. Oh, that's his name, Pascal. That's his name. Oh, okay. Let me ask you a question, Ryan, and I need you to be honest with me. Are you not liking his attitude because you don't like his attitude? Or are you not liking his attitude because of the way he was talking to Michael? Pascal. I was wondering what that dude's name was. Thank you, Sean. You're a G. I appreciate that. Seriously. What is this motherfucker's name? I couldn't think of it for the life of me. I really couldn't. I know. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. But no, Ryan. Did you? Are you? Did you? Yeah, going to Sean to do this. But yeah. Did you not like his attitude because you don't like his attitude, or because of the way he talked to Michael? I need you to be honest. Don't keep me in suspense now. I don't understand why does Britt keep pushing the envelope. It's like, girl, just go in the lab, get your shit done, and you can sit there and they'll let you party a little bit more. I feel like Britt is one of those type of people that would just yeah, Cherry. I feel like Britt was one of those people in high school that would sit there and BS, but because she's incredibly smart, will still sit there and pass. She'll pass all her tests and classes and everything like that, but she will have an attitude. Brian says, I admit it because of how he treated Michael. I haven't been following that story that much, so seeing his snippy attitude towards Michael pissed me off and made me see that he needs to get it. Okay, get over himself. Okay. Spider says, because Britt wants to be free, she don't want to be controlled. I understand that, but do you think that's smart though, Spider? Let me ask you this question. Do you think that's a smart way to go about it? At 179, so I don't give a damn. She don't. And honestly, tell you the truth, just because you're on contract does not mean that you cannot go. It does not mean you cannot be fired. You know. But that's the question, Spider. Do you think that that's a smart move for her to do? Yeah, and Maxie still. Oh, what's good, Queen Jess? How you doing? I kind of hope so. I don't know if the actor's still alive or the actor from before, but if it is, I like it though. That's right, everyone. It is Queen Jess in the chat. Spiker says break things to Boris won't hurt her. So honestly, I think as long as she don't push it, she's fine. She just gotta worry about Pascal. I'm pretty. You know what? I'm not surprised at your answer. I'm not surprised by your answer at all, Spider. You are so on cue tonight, man. I'm pretty damn good. Yeah, he seems like a. Here's the thing. I remember when he came in the last time. I missed most of GH. Literally, only saw the last 20 minutes. Yeah, same thing, Jess. I had to sit there and go on. I had to go on YouTube to sit there and watch it because I didn't feel like waiting. I didn't feel like waiting. So I had to sit there and watch the fucked up version on YouTube. Yeah, Alicia. Yeah, but this time at least it's a villain, so that's good. I felt like I had something else to say. I can't remember. No, no, I did not know that. Oh, that's what I was going to sit there and say. I remember when before he killed Nathan. Nathan was in there talk about, me and Maxie are pregnant. He was like, we're pregnant. And Faison was like, what do you mean? What do you mean we're pregnant? You mean she's pregnant? Why do people say that? It sounds so stupid when they sit there and say we're pregnant. And I'm just like, I'm so glad that somebody said that. It's like I understand the idea that you want to share, like, like we're pregnant, we're having a baby, but it's like, no, we're not pregnant. She's pregnant. Maybe it was just an American thing. So when he said it, it was good. I think so, Alicia. Just says, I don't know how she didn't hit Vaughn unless she just got perfect aim. Well, she is very active in sports. It is possible. It makes sense, Jess. She's a sports person. Spider says Britt and the boss seem like they have a connection, so that's why I think Britt is safe. Spider, look, let's just cut the crap. Let's just cut the crap. Okay. Spider, the only reason why you sit there and think that she's actually making a good decision by pushing her luck is because you like Britt. Okay. You are biased when it comes towards Britt. That's why. That's just what it comes down to. No, it's not possible. You don't think somebody who does sports like volleyball and soccer and stuff like that needs to have good aim in general? So why is it not possible that she's not? Oh, somebody who does sports and does athletic stuff when it comes towards aim and stuff would make sense that they actually have good aim. Listen, Jess, I'm more surprised that you're not backing me on this, but okay. You know what it is, Ryan? I started watching in the year 2000, so like anything before that, I didn't know about. But you still need aim, though, right, Spider? I thought they met at that. Actually, now I think about it, no, no, I don't think that they actually met, unless they met off. Yeah, I can't think of when they met. What does playing sports have anything to do with shooting a gun? Because it both because it because they both require aim. Because they both require aim. She has target practice. Awesome, thank you, 179. She had target practice as part of her training. Oh, right. Okay, but no, Ryan says Carly Christmas party. Yeah, but Michael didn't get out. Michael didn't get out the clinic until recently, so that doesn't count. Michael wasn't at the Christmas party. Aiming the gun is different than aiming a volleyball. Did you read the part? Did you read 179's comment when they said that she had on target practice when she was at the WSB? She wasn't just doing the fighting style. They train them for all sorts of things. Why would they send out an agent if they didn't think that they know how to use a gun? It's like a racist self. I don't understand. Like, it's quite interesting, but I'm not surprised that you are trying to act like she doesn't know how to aim with you, young lady. So because she plays volleyball, that means she has perfect aim shooting. What do you mean she didn't have any training? What are you talking about? How do you know she doesn't have training? She was at the WSB. Like, what are you talking about? Well, I think it's a correlation though. Oh, okay. All right. No, I actually tell you to Felicia, yeah. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they don't actually have gun training though, at the WSB. So, Spider, you think that they would sit there and let out an agent if they didn't have any sort of target practice, any sort of target training? I want you to think about that for a minute. I also want you to sit there and think about the fact that a lot of times they don't always show everything that they go through training with. So you have two things. One, it would make sense. It wouldn't make sense that they would just, we just gonna move past that. Um, it doesn't matter if it's a recon mission or not. They're not gonna let it. They're not gonna let an agent into the field if they didn't have any gun training. Like that's the part where you're not getting. But we're just gonna move on. we just gonna move on. Johnson says, I guess Ashley is getting back together with Derek. Yeah, Derek. That um, you know what annoyed? I mean, there's a couple of things that did annoy me with beyond the gay stuff. Right? Leslie's gonna buy a club membership when she gets her money from Daddy Vernon. You think that Vernon's daddy? That means that Vernon would actually had a relationship with Barbara. And Barbara's supposed to be Leslie's mom now. Which is crazy. But with the whole Ashley thing, when she sat there and you know what, before we even get to that, can we talk about this? Can we talk about this divorce party? Just, at any point in time, you can just admit that I'm right and you're wrong. She's so stubborn. She's so goddamn stubborn. I love it. He'll be in a wheelchair for a little bit, Jonathan. You know why he's not going to stay in a wheelchair? Oh, Sean, I moved past that. You know why? You know why he's not going to stay. You know why he's not going to stay in a wheelchair. Um, they okay. You know what? Why don't you tell me why? Why don't you tell me why? All right, tell me why. He knows why. I just want him to say it. I just, I just want him to say it. I love. Oh Lord, I'm so past that. Um, they don't keep characters in wheelchairs. They don't. Okay. I don't know if you want to actually call. Yeah, because they don't keep characters in wheelchairs. I don't know if that's an ableist thing or something like that, but whenever they put a character in a wheelchair, it's always for a very short time. Um, and it's a little kind of messed up because you're basically they're saying that like we don't consider you a good enough character if you're in a wheelchair. Like we don't consider you a good enough human being if you're in a wheelchair. That's why. But I just, what annoyed me was that Ashley sat there and said, "Well, you're in a wheelchair because of me." The thing is, Jay Blue, I figured that Jonathan knew that, but I just want to sit there and ask him. But like, that's why. But I just love how Ashley was like, "You're in this wheelchair because of me." I was like, "Girl, did you just sit there and try to act like you were the center of the goddamn universe? He got in that wheelchair because of you." I don't like to bring up looks or anything like that, but if I'm not getting in the wheelchair and I want to be doing some stupid shit, it's gonna be because of a hot girl, not basic. And Nicole throwing a goddamn divorce party. Well, Jess, we have to sit there and sit through more June. We got to sit through more June. So, yay! Lisa says, anybody see the look on Vernon's face? She kind of surprised me too, Sean. I still does think that she has a hot accent though. Yeah, it was kind of cringe. I felt a lot of things, Jonathan. I felt like it was like fucking dumb. Like I know I heard you. Yeah, Spider Quake likes the June stuff. Uh, June, June. You know, I don't even like the month of June now. I mean, I already don't like the month of June because it's hot as fuck. But like, that's another reason not to like the month of June because of her. Yeah, tell just why you like the June stuff. Please do that. Regardless of what tells why you like the June stuff. I'm not shaming you. I'm just, just curious. Very. If Ted wants Nicole back, he gotta try. Okay, except for Juneteenth. Except for Juneteenth, I do, do Jess, but like, it's gotten to a point where it's gotten unbearable. But see, that's the thing though. Jess says if Ted wants Nicole back, he gotta try way better. I think he needs. Listen, I think if Ted found out that Nicole had a divorce party, a celebration divorcing him, I think he would probably stop. Like, I think we were probably. I like the heat, but it's gotten unbearable. Like, I like hot, but like trying to go through these reviews in the heat, it is a bitch. I don't even like that word. Yeah, Sean, I will sit there and see you tomorrow. I got some fun stuff planned this weekend, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, Sean. It's gonna be good. What else could Ted do at this point? Give up? Just said talk to her, send her flowers, cards. Yes, Jonathan. Yes, I will see you tomorrow, Sean. Is is she trolling me? Is she trolling us? No, I wasn't actually even planning on drinking tonight, but like seeing that comment, she trolling. She trolling. Have a night, Jay Blue. It was really great to see you. John says spring is also right. I can you know what? Listen, I don't approve of cheating, but I can see why he was with Leslie. This chick had a divorce. She's trolling. All right, I think I, I think I looked at that comment long enough. Uh, Jess has a sense of humor, people. But spring is cool. Spring is cool. Fall is cool. I like fall because it gives me more of a justification for getting hot drinks. Like I would yesterday, I didn't even want to get him a latte because it was too goddamn hot by the time I got done with everything. Summer is too hot, winter is too cold, spring and summer are moderate. Yeah, just talk about how much of a good sense of humor you got. You got a wicked sense of humor. Yes. Never change, Jess. Never change. Anita is going to blow her stack when she finds out about Vernon. I mean, like if Vernon is Leslie's dad? Ooh, that would mean, and I can, listen, if they did like make Vernon a dad, that meant that Vernon had to step out on Anita. And then that would be the third man that would have been a disappointment to the Duprees. You can just add him right along with Bill and Ted. Yeah, I said Bill and Ted. Yep, Bill and Ted. But I guess you wouldn't have a reason to sit there and talk shit about Ted anymore. Oh, Bill disappointed my daughter for years, and now Ted did, and like, I guess you can add that to the list, then, huh, buddy? Tracy says Drew is just getting started with the craziness. He don't think him and Willow are done. Yeah, he need to prove that by manipulating by manipulating her child again. She was already pissed off at the first time he did that. So now he just did it again. She's gonna be pissed off and gonna have every right, but at the same time she's sitting there playing Citrus with somebody else's baby. I'm glad you got that, Jonathan. Glad you got that. Yeah, Vernon will be a scoundrel, Alicia. Vernon will be a scoundrel. I'll be here for it, though. I'll be here. I'm here for the mess. Ryan, you saw how he was sitting there trying to pull Drew back, like, yo, I think you need to come over here and sit next to me and kind of hash this out. And Drew was like, not now. He was like, no, 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 no. You need to come over here now. I don't even remember watching the second one as a kid. I remember watching the first one as a kid. I don't remember liking it that much. Oh, I even liked the Back to the Future cartoon. That was the goddamn cartoon. I don't know. Everyone, well, like Sean always talks about the 80s with like rose colored glasses or whatever. I don't like that movie though. I don't remember hating it, but they seem like two idiots now I look at it. I guess now they need to face the music. Um, if it was before, mm, I mean, yeah, back in the 80s or 70s or whatever, like there was no way for you to sit there. It's like most people just kind of did their thing and just kind of moved on. And, there was probably no way for them to sit there and track down the dad or anything if that was the case. Anthony, the number one YouTuber. Yep. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Story and scraps. Tech scrapper and story and tech scrapper story and scrap. Yeah, you heard about it. And you have a YouTube channel too. That's interesting. I mean, not just a YouTube account, but also a YouTube channel. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what exactly I said. Spider Quake. No, I agree with that. That would because listen, you need to have one family unit, you need to have one at least stable relationship, especially core. We can't have those two breaking up. I agree with that, Spider. No, I want to watch it. You know what I tried to watch yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to finish watching it. I think I have like 20 minutes. That new Alien show. I don't think it's a bad show. I just think that if you're not a hardcore fan and you're just a casual person watching it, I don't know if it's going to be for you. I wasn't hooked in, and like after like 40 something minutes, I should be. Do you remember that scene in the Avengers? What scene in the Avengers? Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just nothing was really working for me. Like it was just like, okay, okay, all right, mm-hmm. And like 40 minutes later, I'm just like, how long is this show? Tracy says like the Alien shows, they had one back in the day. It was decent. I didn't know they actually had other Alien shows. Alicia says, other than a young Sonny, Robert was the most. Um, Jess says, I didn't get to see it, but why did Isaiah ask to see Jordan? I guess that's a damn good question. I remember him sniffing saying to Felicia that he pretty much asked her to get involved. What's good, Dolomex? Damn, it's been a minute. Um, I think they will probably off him. But it's funny, Spider. I'm very curious if they would. I'm very curious if she would come back because she didn't come back for Epiphany's. She didn't come back for Epiphany's funeral, right? She didn't come back for Epiphany's funeral, and it made me think when I was in the kitchen. I was like, I think if she was to come back, this would be the time for her to come back. But I doubt that he is coming back. See, here's my thing though. Okay, so we talk about the Isaiah stuff and Jordan and Kurt. First of all, I'm going to sit there and say this again for people that just came in. Yeah, I know. I get that, Spider. I do. I'm just saying, like, I thought she was going to come back during that time. But first of all, I think that Curtis is out of pocket. I think that Jordan is out of pocket. You know damn well you do not need Curtis to sit there and inspect that house, inspect that building that you're not going to keep. Remember, you're only getting this extra money living like a fancy CEO because of Sitwell. The guy that you were going to bust. So what happens after you bust him? You really think you're going to sit there and keep all that money to afford that place? So why are you having Curtis inspect that house? You're finding the most BS ways to sit there and spend time with this man when you really should be sitting there taking a step back because you don't want to be a homewrecker like you keep telling Portia. And Isaiah sent there asking Felicia, should he step in and say something about Curtis still hanging out with Jordan? Felicia was like, no. Felicia's like, no, stay out of it. It's not your business. It's not your place. So we listened to a 7 minutes of her saying that. So him to sit there and say, "Hey, Jordan, I need to sit there and see you at the hospital." What was you planning on doing? Talking to her, making sure that she doesn't cross the line? Because that's the only thing I can sit there and think of. I mean, you don't plan on getting back together with her, right? Do they even know what to do with Isaiah at this point? They didn't know what to do with Trina at this point. This girl isn't they going through like so many trusses to make sure that she has the perfect night with Curtis, which I never really understood that. First of all, I never really understood why some women will get lingerie for their man. And maybe this is off topic, but like, why would some women get lingerie for their man when they already seen what they look like? I never really understood that. My exes used to do that. I'm just like, why are you spending all this money for? I know what you look like. I'm just gonna take it off anyway. What's the point? They have no clue what to do with Isaiah. They have no clue what to do with Trina either. It's gonna be a pattern. Anyway, I know that was a somewhat of a sideways rant, but like, she's spending a lot of time, and it was kind of an annoying scene. Putting yourself together for this man who's clearly hanging out with somebody else. Like I know most people don't like Portia, and I'm not a huge fan of Portia, but I'm like, you're doing this all for a man. I don't understand how things are suddenly good for Curtis and Portia. Well, apparently because Drew said that they have a truce, he is cautiously optimistic enough so when that he could sit there and focus on Portia. Like, why do they think that they're safe? Delmex says, "See, now you know why the TJ actor was so surprised he actually got a good story last year." Yep. By the way, I put that video up, so y'all didn't sit there and see my reaction video to the Instagram post that the actor that played TJ put up. Check it out. Check it out. And now Stella, it seems like she's going to get in trouble for that insurance fraud because Drew told her to make her life a living hell, and I don't like Stella, so I'm kind of here for it. And maybe Hat Daddy's coming back if anyone actually cares about that. That needs to be a thing. Seems like Domac says I feel bad for the Isaiah actor because they tested him with a lot of people and made it seem like he was going to be a big deal on the show. Also, his last name is Gannon, so people are hoping that he was going to be connected to RJ Gannon from One Like to Live. And yeah, don't seem to be the case. Huh. And TJ's not there, but Isaiah is there. And it reminds me of a scene from not another teen movie. Rosemary. Yeah, I know. I heard. Well, how you doing, Rosemary? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Yes, I did, Rosemary. I did. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It was surprising, but I mean, it was surprising, but not surprising. Like I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to happen that soon. Filmmaker says, yeah, that's almost as a big a deal as a big buzz as the CBS daytime fan had when they thought Devon Hamilton might actually be referred as a reveal of Bill Hamilton and got a whole lot of nothing. It was definitely too short. Oh wow, you're old school. Okay, story. Okay, story and scrap. Your name is very long. I'm going to call you story and scrap. Um, yeah, damn. I was actually born in 1983. Yeah, 20 minutes. So I don't even know if it was 20 minutes, but it felt like it felt short as hell. It felt super short, unfortunately. Yeah, it's good to see you, Rosemary. It's been too long. I always like to sit there and, it's always good to sit there and see some returning faces I haven't seen in a while. So it's good to have you. Surprised every now and then you sit there and Max says I was born in '83 too, and I thought it was an OG because I can remember. I thought I was an OG because I can remember some early '90s days or Carly first scenes on GH. I was talking about the scene when the Hulk kicked Loki's ass. Oh, okay, that was a good scene. I just love the whole Marvel universe in general. Yeah, it's good to have you, Rosemary. Yeah, I was born in the '90s. Another question: did EJ AI Chanel? It seems like it, Alicia. It seems like it. That's what Johnny was not there referring to. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I thought about that for a hot minute. I didn't think about AI, but what? I'm glad that they're actually talking about AI in these soap operas. Like they did it in Born and Beautiful when they had like this deep fake when they had this woman, this guy who was jealous or wanted to be with this woman, use like put her face and put like nude pictures and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I'm glad that they actually did that. Looks like that's what they did, Alicia. And I guess the cops didn't, you know, like they said that they checked out the video and it was all good, but like AI is so advanced that it's like even they missed it. Yes, exactly, Jonathan. What Remy did to Alexa. Thank you. Tomax says, "Oh, did you see they put a reaction video of?" No, I didn't. I was actually gonna sit there and watch the whole hour because I didn't catch it this week, so I was gonna sit there and catch up tomorrow. I'll check it out though too. Thank you, Dominix. Yeah, right. I'm like I said, I'm liking the Marvel universe. I know some people think it's woke and all this other BS, but I'm loving it though. And I actually did like the Fantastic Four, but that's what's up though. That's what's up. I'll check it out tomorrow. Like I said, I was not telling people I was watching the first episode of the Alien show. It's good for hardcore people. Like if you're a hardcore Alien fan, I think you'll like it. But like Casual people were just kind of wasn't working, but I wanted to check it out though. It looks good, just doesn't do much for me though. Some says I like they're getting around to playing up AI and deepfakes on American Souls back when I have a good night, Ryan. It was really great to see you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good weekend. I was like they're getting I like they're getting around to playing up AI and deepfakes on American soaps. Back when I was still watching Australian soaps Neighbors, it had a guy whose backstory was as a tech hit. I heard on Hollyoaks they actually was meant to talk about OF, which I'm just like, damn, that's much more earlier. Alicia says, I don't think Chanel did this really scary legal wise. Yeah. Especially if it can get past the scrutiny of cops with AI. Like that's dangerous. That is dangerous. But I knew it was fake though. I knew it, there was something about it that just felt kind of off. It's like, yeah, Chanel will sit there and be all up in EJ's face and whatever, but like the stuff she was saying, yeah. Oh, it was EastEnders. Thank you, Doman. I thought it was EastEnders. Okay. They had one of his old enemies come on and had him start tormenting all his friends with deepfake as revenge. EastEnders did. Was EastEnders a show that was like that got canceled? Remember JOJ was sitting there talking about EastEnders and how it was on Amazon and then they canceled it. I mean, I'm good right now with just Hollyoaks because I think that show is perfect for me for so many reasons. Oh, it's Neighbors that got canceled. Okay, EastEnders is still okay. Cool. Well, maybe one day when I have more time. It's just how Hollyoaks just works out for me. 20 minutes, 3 episodes, perfect. I guess I think is the easiest for an American fan to watch. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, to be fair, I haven't watched the other one, so I don't know. I just know it's easier for me to watch. I mean, they do got that show Coronation Street, but like, I don't, I don't know. I just don't have time to really watch a lot of them. It's just, I got so annoyed with Bold and the Beautiful. I was like, nah, I need to. I was like, I need to watch something else. I need to watch something else that's like 20 minutes, but it's actually good. It doesn't feel like watching the same goddamn episode over and over again. And Hollyoaks just fit the goddamn bill. And it's on YouTube. So props to Hollyoaks. Props to Hollyoaks. And I hope I mean, hopefully I can get like maybe an actor to come on the channel and do like an interview. That'd be cool. Domex says Hollyoaks is the only one that hires people that seem like they could be an American soap opera. Alicia says, good night, AB. Everyone, special shout out to Jessica Love. Yes, our residential celebrity. Have a good night, Alicia. It was really great to see you. Thank you for coming through. Seriously. I should probably get ready to head to bed soon. I got some early stuff to do in the morning. And I want to try to watch The Young and Restless before it gets snipped off. Get an early start. Uh, the soaps Monday. Members, I will sit down and see you tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday, I got some fun stuff for us to sit there and do. So hopefully I will sit there and see y'all tomorrow. If you're not a member, make sure you join. Become a member. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It was fun putting up a playlist today. And everybody else, I will sit there and see y'all next week. Members, hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow and Sunday. Hi. Hi, Cassidy. Sorry, I'm just about to sit there and leave, but I hope I get to see you next week. Have a good night, Dolomitics. Have a good night, Queen Jess. Have a good night, Queen Janet. Have a good night, Freddie. Thank you for joining. As always, have a good night, Spiderquake. Have a good night, Dolomitics. Have a good night, Queen of the South. I'm missing so many people. Tech Scrap. There we go. Yes, there we go. Have a good night, Story and Scrap. Yeah, Story and Scrap. Have a good night. Have a good night, Rosemary. It was really great to see you. Thank you for joining. Jonathan says, join us next time for another edition of Soap Time without the plastic. Thank you. And good night and hit the like button. Yes, hit that goddamn like button. Let's push us up in the algorithm so we can get some more people up in these streams. And let's keep these numbers going. Oh, have a good night, Jen J. Good to see you. I guess you were here the whole time. But have a good weekend. Laters.